The questions are already coming in for our next golf guest, Luke Elvy. And we can get him on the screen. If we go to his Twitter bio, father, husband, entrepreneur, storyteller, mostly adult fairy tales, golf broadcaster on the PGA Tour, voice of PGA Tour 2K, and of course, proudly of Can Golf Canmore, joins us today on video chat. How you doing, Luke?
Hey, Rod, mate, I'm terrific. Thank you. That was quite a long bio. I should apologise and write a shorter one in future.
No, it's just fine. That's short. You're way more things than that. But look, this is amazing. I got to say, just a couple of weeks ago, I'm sitting in your fine facility, Can Golf, and you're telling me about the Saudi tour and what's going to happen there. And all of a sudden, you know what hits the fan with Phil Mickelson. And thankfully, you'd given me the Coles notes on what this is all about. What were you thinking when Phil got in all that trouble? And where are we going from here?
Wow. How to dissect it all, Rod. It blew up within days after you and I getting to meet each other. And thank you for coming to visit Can Golf. And to anyone who watches this show, come out and see us in Canmore. It's a great little facility that plays some indoor golf and have a laugh. But with Phil Mickelson, this has been bubbling under the surface for 6-7 years, this whole extra league or rival league. It was originally something that was created by some Europeans and they couldn't get enough funding, so they went to the Saudis to get funding, and then the Saudis stole the idea and just thought, you know what, we can come up with something ourselves. And they brought the person who tried to get the world tour up and running back in the 90s, Greg Norman, my countryman and hero as a young man, on board to run it. But they needed someone to be a spokesperson for the current crop of talent, and that was Phil Mickelson. And Phil was bullish. He wanted every bit of this because it was a lot of money, but not a lot of amount of work. And when you're 50, over 50, this is a dream. Now, it got so close to being officially launched, but the rug got pulled underneath them, that 20 or 11th hour, effectively because of the comments that Phil had made to the person that's writing an unauthorised biography, Alan Shipnuck, back in November. Alan had been sitting on these quotes from November and timely released them when the news was huge, just at the Genesis Invitational. So, Rod, there's been so much to take out of this and dissect that I'll try and piece through it best I can with you.
Well, do you believe that those quotes from Phil, he didn't expect to see the light of day? Do you believe him when he says that?
No, it's hard to take Phil on face value here or in anything. Phil's had a history on tour of not being as authentic as he may appear to the fans. There was a line that it was phony Phil. It wasn't Phil the Thrill, it was phony Phil to the players. And Pat Perez, who's a peer of his, he's 46, he grew up with Tiger. He's just gone on a podcast with Colt Knost and Drew Stoltz. It's called Golf Subpar. It's a terrific podcast. People want more background on this. But Pat Perez said, is Phil apologising for these comments if he got caught? Of course he's not. He's thinking, I've cut a cheque for $150 million. I'm running for the hills. See you later, PGA Tour. See you, everyone else. I've won. There's my new plane. Ta-ta. So it's hard to take him on face value for anything after that.
Yeah, and I guess the question is, where do we go from here? And by the way, I got to pause. Our owner and boss over here, Darren DuPont's going, he's good. The viewers are writing in saying, this guy's good. Which I don't bring on Rudy Poos, by the way. I only bring on the best. And that's you, Luke. And can you please tell the viewers about your television background in Australia, by the way, just so they know? This wouldn't be surprising now that they've seen you, but you've been in front of a camera before.
I've been in the media for, it's 30 years next year, Rod. You and I, we're starting to become what's known as veterans of the industry. I used to host what was Fox Sports News in Australia, but it's known as TSN Sports Centre over here, which was the 24/7 sports news. I did that for a decade before I got the job to front golf in Australia, and then I've been working on the PGA Tour since 2010, predominantly for CBS as a golf commentator. So, not our first rodeo, is it?
No. But I knew that immediately that you're my kind of guy, and Jimmy DeConey wouldn't have introduced us if he didn't know that that was a fact. Now, back to this. Bob Weeks, last I saw him on SportsCenter, TSN's Golf Insider, saying Phil is just ostracized from the PGA. Like, does he have any choice but to go to Saudi now, and how would they receive him? Again, what's next for Phil Mickelson, the PGA Tour? Because you kind of hinted to me that this league is going to buy the PGA, if I read you right.
Well, what I want everyone to know is that the Saudis own Aramco, the oil company, the second wealthiest, most valuable company on earth, just behind Apple. $2 trillion worth of value. They have no shortage of money. The PGA Tour to them is a rounding error. Yep, there's 10 billion. If they so desired to crush the PGA Tour, they could do it. But what they don't have are the best players in the world. Now, we saw as soon as Phil's comments blew up in the press, Dustin Johnson, who was gone. He was going to be one of the big stars of this tour. He was gone. He signs with the PGA Tour. I'm staying. I'm not going. Then within, an hour after that, Bryson DeChambeau, who was probably their star player in terms of the highest ranked player, he announced too, I'm staying with the PGA Tour. That's where my allegiance lies. So now you're left with the 40-somethings, the players that have been, long attached to this. Ian Poulter, Lee Westwood, Henrik Stenson, Justin Rose of the Europeans. Adam Scott, my countryman's been, touted as this. There's a couple of American players, but names that people would be like, no, that doesn't even move the needle. Jason Kokrak, would people go, oh, I'm desperate to go and watch Jason Kokrak play? Lovely player, but no, of course not. So they're left with maybe Patrick Reed, who knows, as their highest ranked player at this stage. Could it go ahead? Sure. They've got the money. They want to spend the money, they can. And they're trying to use golf to make Saudi Arabia more attractive to the world. That's what they're doing. Greg Norman's designing golf courses there. They're going to have a world tour. They can still pull something off here, but it just won't have any impact to the tour because they don't have the best players in the world. And as Rory McIlroy quite rightly said, this is dead in the water. They don't have the best players. There's no interest.
Gotcha. But, money talks. And, you mentioned the Saudis' goal. You likened it to tennis and the WTA with events all over the world. That's what they would like, right? I mean, maybe it's dead now, but is it dead forever?
No, that's what golf would like. And I think that's what Greg Norman had in his heart back in the 90s, was that golf, because it's a global game, has a global tour. But the PGA Tour has become so enormous over the last 25 years that it has crushed golf in places like Australia, where I'm from, South Africa. The European Tour is a tenth of what it was back in the 90s. And basically the PGA Tour owns half of it. But then you've got PGA Tour Canada, PGA Tour Latin America, PGA Tour China, which has been sitting idle for a couple of years. They've got their tentacles so far it's not funny now. So they're trying to own all of golf. Makes sense. But other tournaments or other nations don't get tournaments. They don't get the right to host the best players in the world, where tennis does, and it travels all around the world. And you've got that wonderful tour, and you have the slams, and you have the Masters Series events, and then you have the 750-point events, the 500-point events, and then the 250 and 100. So you'd get lesser stars at the lesser events and the better players playing the top ones all around the world. Everyone wins. Great for the game, but it's bad for the PGA Tour because they wouldn't own it. And that's what they've been trying to stop here. Someone taking their
Absolutely. Luke, this has been awesome, as I expected it would be. Tell our viewers again about Can Golf out in Canmore. Wonderful golf simulator, wonderful kitchen and bar, as you would say. Why should people stop out there and make a reservation?
That's nice of you, Rod. Yep. Good accent. You've done well. Us Australians love a drink, so come and have a couple of beers with me. Look, this place, I built it basically to get more people exposed to the great game of golf. As you know, golf lasts for about 5, maybe 6 months in these parts of the world. So, the indoor golf, and with the simulators as good as they are now, the technology and what we use is about golf, and it's the number one simulator in the world. Each simulator is like $65,000. We've got 5 of them in the place. It's a full, authentic indoor golf experience, and we want people to have fun as well. A lot of cold weather, a lot of snow. Come and play indoors, have some fun. You get nice food and drink while you're here. Fabulous. And what people don't know is we've got an awesome event space, and we've named it after my dear friend and mentor and one of the part owners of the business, Ian Baker Finch, the Open champion from 1991, and obviously a regular voice on the PGA Tour with CBS Sports. So we call it Finchie's Here. If you want to host, some friends, a party, corporate event, whatever, we got you covered. So come out and see us at Canmore. It's called Can Golf.
Can Golf, Canmore. I'll be bringing some buds out there. Luke, this has been amazing. Thank you so much, sir. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Rod. We'll watch this space with the golf. It's certainly not done with yet.
Absolutely. PGA and World Golf analyst Luke Elvy joining us on video chat today from Can Golf. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of The Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.